Breaking tonight, Pope Francis just wrapping up a second day in the United States with evening prayers at New York's famed St. Patrick's Cathedral, where he was met by cheering crowds and spoke to the faithful. Earlier in the day, the pontiff was in our nation's capital, where he gave a rousing speech before a joint meeting of Congress that was carried across the country. What got less attention? The surprise visit Pope Francis made to the Little Sisters of the Poor. They are nuns who were forced by the Obama administration to sign papers allowing coverage for the cost of birth control. This, as Republican Carly Fiorina used the day to call out Hillary Clinton for supporting Planned Parenthood, despite the fact that it provides abortions, suggesting the organization is butchering babies. That's the allegation by Fiorina. And she points to undercover videos that have surfaced from Planned Parenthood as evidence. Now, Fiorina's critics have pounced on her accusations, saying it's blatant misrepresentations, saying the videos she cited, including those during the debate, showed no such thing about Planned Parenthood and its practices. But Fiorina and her supporters are not backing down, and yesterday they released a powerful, and we must warn you, incredibly graphic video to bring home her point. Again, we're going to show this one time. It is disturbing. We're not going to show it again, so if you want to remove your children, now's the time to do that. It's a 1-minute ad, and here it is.
I mean, how are you going to run for president and you're going to say, this is what I saw in the video, when everyone can get in the video said, it doesn't exist?
Anyone who has watched this videotape, I dare Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama to watch these tapes. A fully formed fetus on the table, its heart beating, its legs kicking, while someone says we have to keep it alive to harvest its brain.
That the heart actually is still beating.
Is it still in the heart? Kitty and Adrenal?
We're gonna poke your brains. I'm thinking, no, I don't do this.
This is about the character of our nation. And if we will not stand up and force President Obama to veto this bill, shame on us.
Joining us now, Robert Zimmerman, a Democratic National Committee member from New York and Clinton donor, and Dana Loesch, host of Dana on the Blaze TV. We're going to start tonight with Dana. Dana, thank you for being here.
Thanks, Megyn.
It's so dark, and we, debated a fair amount internally. What do we show? What do we show of this ad? And she's put it out there and wants the country to look at what actually happens. The pushback is those pictures of those babies have not been proven to be from Planned Parenthood at all. That we don't even know if those babies were aborted or the subject of miscarriages, and that it's a misrepresentation to say the talking about what was going to be done to them matched up with those specific videos.
And Megyn, thanks for having me. It's not a misrepresentation, though, of what Planned Parenthood has actually been doing all of these years, publicly funded, by the way. And it's not a misrepresentation of other footage, that 10 videos total, hours of footage in full put up on the internet. And there are other very, very graphic clips of things that have happened inside these facilities. I mean, we all remember the image of the Pyrex pie plate, Megyn, that was sitting there, and someone holds up an infant's severed arm in front of that camera. That is an image that you cannot get out of your mind. So this is just one illustration of what was going on in these clinics and what was going on with these harvesters like that STEM Express, etc. There is much more in these tapes, and I'm glad that her attention to it is finally bringing it up for national discussion in mainstream media.
No one showed it. And I understand why. It's terribly graphic. It's deeply disturbing. It's not something you can pop on the air in the middle of the day without a warning as, hey, look what Carly Fiorina's doing. But that's the thing about this issue, is that the life side, to make their point, offers up these terribly graphic images, and it's hard to put them on TV. And many believe they need to do that if they really want to be heard. That's why it's so shocking to hear Carly Fiorina describe the video as she did at the debate. Sorry, did you catch that, Dana? I'm just saying that.
Yeah,
so
I
is
didn't know
that
if
the
you were talking to me.
No. Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
No,
but is that the new tactic, do you think, the most effective one?
I think it is. And Megyn, honestly, I think that one of the reasons that we have, that there are a lot of people questioning the content of these videos, it's like, look, let's remove the politics from what is actually happening here. You are having a clinic that offers, maybe a fraction of what community health centers offer in terms of women's health care, and they're engaging in the questionably felonious practice of partying out kids as though they're just junker cars and you're taking them to the junkyard. And people, I think they're reacting to these videos this way because they can't believe that this is happening. They're still trying to process the fact that, oh my gosh, that one video clip where they're showing appendages and when they're showing an actual brain and a cranium, that is real. That's not movie prop magic. And so you have to show people this is the horror that is taking place. This is really happening right now in the United States of America. And we have to show it so that people know what we're talking about. So we can't hide it away and act like it's just a policy discussion.
It's a powerful ad. Dana, thank you.
Thank you, Megyn.
Robert Zimmerman is here as well. Robert, good to see you. So
good evening.
This is what's interesting about this from a politics standpoint is Fiorina, and we saw this with Rand Paul earlier in this campaign, are taking a different tactic than we've seen Republicans in the past. Democrats have successfully turned this debate to GOPers don't like birth control and they want to deprive a woman of her rights, and they're kind of turning it back in this way. Do you think it's effective?
Well, this issue, quite honestly, is so above politics. When you look at those images, of course, they're graphic and they're haunting and so deeply disturbing.
Yes.
But it's also important to point out that these images, the graphic images, have no connection to Planned Parenthood at all. And as has been documented by Chris Wallace of Fox News, The Wall Street Journal, and Jonah Goldberg of the National Review, Carly Fiorina made up the video that she so dramatically described during the Republican national debate. Now, there's an important...
She was describing, there's a woman who worked in connection with this who talked about them actually doing this, and they laid in file video, if you will. It wasn't from Planned Parenthood.
Well, that's the point.
That's where the discrepancy is.
See the point.
But my question to you is, the average viewer at home is seeing those images and thinking, they don't care that it came from a different source.
Well, I'll tell you why it does matter, and that is because to have an important, and there really needs to be an important policy debate, an important discussion in America, it's important to understand that Planned Parenthood's federal funds don't in any way support abortion activities or any sort of abortion activities at all. The federal funding goes to breast cancer research. It goes to teaching individuals about birth control activities, educating people about avoiding sexually transmitted diseases and curing them. That's where the federal funds go. It's against the law to use federal funds for any other activities. And Carly Fiorina's strategy of advocating closing the government down if federal funds are not blocked from Planned Parenthood has been condemned even by the National Right to Life leader, Carol Tobias. So I think it's important to have an honest discussion about this issue.
But do you think that the Democrats like Hillary need to get back to the message of, safe, legal, and rare? Because she sent out a tweet today talking about the Pope saying, thank you, we have much to do to defend the rights and dignity of all. And many people immediately thought of, if you mean all, you should mean babies too.
It has been the policy of the Democratic Party, in fact, the policy of a majority of Americans, to make sure that when a woman makes her reproductive choices, it's between her and her doctor, and if it's abortion, it's safe, legal, and rare. It's a very traumatic and difficult decision for any woman to confront, and it shouldn't be dictated by the government. It should be done by a woman in consultation with her doctor. That's the focus.
Robert, always great to see you. Thank you.
Good to be with you. Thank you, Megyn.
Also tonight, a school district refuses a request to close for the Muslim holiday and wait until you hear the threat that followed. And as Hillary Clinton takes fire to come clean on her email scandal, she gives a one-on-one interview to the star of the HBO show Girls. Brian Kilmeade has some thoughts on that next.